response to Zach's song, a slew of celebrities, including Rainn Wilson, Ashley Tisdale, Anna Faris, Jason Mraz, and others, made their own version, lip-syncing to Zach's voice. Zach's reaction to first seeing that video, well, here it is. It was captured in the documentary My Last Days. It is part of a series that's directed by Justin Baldoni. And we're lucky enough to have Justin join us now to talk about Zach's life, to talk about this film. It's an honor to meet you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for putting his story out there, and thank you for being with us.
It's an honor to be here. I got to be honest, I haven't heard all of that in a while, so I'm going to try to keep it together on camera here for you.
Right, I'm right there with you. You know, it's interesting. In the documentary, you talk about Zach, and you say you went there to meet a great kid, but instead you met someone who changed your life. Tell us about Zach. Tell us about the time you spent with him.
Zach is one of the oldest souls I have ever met. He's 17 years old, but when you meet him and you look into his eyes, you feel like he's lived for thousands of years. His kindness, his generosity, his compassion for people, and his aura was just unlike anyone that I've ever met. And you know, we went there for a week and we left feeling like we had just read every inspirational book on life that you could ever pick up at a bookstore. Feeling like we just wanted to be better human beings and better people, and I've never had an experience like that in my life.
I believe it. I want to play for our viewers Zach's opening line in your documentary. Listen.
I'm 17 years old and I have osteosarcoma. I've been told I have a few months to live, but I still have a lot of work to do. I want everyone to know you don't have to find out you're dying to start living.
How struck were you by that, seeing Zach live out some of the last days of his life?
Zach knew he didn't have much time left when we went to him, but yet he gave us a week of his life to do this documentary, and his family gave us a week of his life. And what we got to see was a 17-year-old care more about everyone else in his entire life than himself. He cared about making us and our crew happy. He cared about if our needs were being met. He wanted us to have a good time. Everybody was vying for attention from him because they knew he didn't have a ton of time left. And his ability to think about other people when he's in physical pain, when he knows he's not going to get to do things that all of his friends are going to do, like graduate high school or get married to his girlfriend, it was one of the most heartbreaking but inspiring things I've ever experienced, like I said earlier.
You bring up his girlfriend. He had this wonderful to me watching a girlfriend who knew he was sick and was there with him by his side through all of it, planned this special surprise picnic for him in Mall of America Stadium where the Vikings play, because he's a Vikings fan, you know, standing by him like his sister. I know he was so close to Grace, and he wrote this song for her, his mother, his father. This family is amazing. I can't describe it. People have to see it.
This story has had such an impact. I'm a mess, by the way. I don't know. It's just so moving. Can you believe the impact it's had all over the world? It's crazy, isn't it? This is part of a series, and it really chronicles people in their final days and months. And I'm just wondering, Justin, for you, that must be so hard, that kind of work. I mean, is there a flip side to chronicling the end-of-life experience?
The idea came from a quote in the Baha'i writings, and the quote is, "I've made death a messenger of joy for thee, wherefore why dost thou grieve?" And I thought the world's so messed up that if we could maybe like flip the idea of what death is and try to make it joyful and have a show that's not like bringing people down, but bringing people up in their last days, it could really maybe change the world. And Zach just happened to be a kid who wanted to change the world. So it's just like this perfect meeting of like, you know, the heavens saying, okay, now's the time. And he's doing it.
What were your impressions of Zach and his family when you got to know them?
I've never experienced love like that, demonstrated in the way that the Sobiech family and the friends had. I mean, this is a family and a kid that changed their entire community, and is now, we're watching it change the world.